data in digitalization in industry. They'll discuss how to use data, the challenges with the new data trend, and different approaches to greenfield and brownfield use cases. You'll learn how to get started with the new way of handling data and leave with a fresh perspective on how to use data in your own operation. And now, please welcome with a big round of applause, Louis Kuehl and Christoph Fuchs.
Thank you very much for the nice introduction. My name is Louis Kuehl. I'm together with my dear colleague. Hey, Christoph.
Hey, Louis here. Today we want to talk about how to make digital transformation easy with our approach with industrial edge apps. So let's start. Why do so many industrial companies struggle with digital transformation? It's a big question, isn't it, Louis?
Yes, absolutely, Christoph. So there are different challenges which we discuss with our clients, with our customers. One big challenge is for sure an existing complex IT or OT infrastructure. So different systems in automotion, which grew historically over the years, but also different IT landscape with versatile IT communication protocols, versatile system architectures. And that's why people struggle to now find a holistic approach how they can manage their digital transformation. Another big topic, which we also see at this booth, at other booths of this Hannover fair, is clearly cybersecurity. Maybe a short question here in the audience, is cybersecurity more and more a topic in your day-to-day work? I see one yes here, another yes, and there's a big thumbs up. Okay, so yeah, also in the back. Cybersecurity is a key challenge, and unfortunately it leads clients to say, okay, then maybe I skip on this project, this digitization project, because it will increase my attack surface. But by that they leave out a lot of potential. And another challenge, Christoph, I can think of is for sure they want to make huge projects, which then has problems in terms also of scalability, because one project is blocking the full resources and then they cannot reach the full potential. What can you think of? What other challenges do you discuss with clients?
Yeah, and let's not forget about the upfront investment in digitalization. So when you think about digital transformation, you need new digital products. You need a significant upfront investment, and this is also a big challenge. And not to forget also the general resistance to change. So when we start with digital transformation, we talk about processes, we talk about established workflows, and this means also, and based on these challenges, we want to talk about our approach, how to make digital transformation easy with industrial edge apps. So what role means data, Louis? What do you think? What is the role of data?
Yeah, in the end, you could even say it's another challenge in this journey. So we spoke now about such challenges, but data is also a crucial topic. People even could say it's all about data, because we all click, we all swipe, we all generate data each day. We need also to wonder how much of the data is useful and can be used in a productive way. This graph shows there is a huge increase in data generated by each year. So you can see 881 zettabytes. That's a huge sum. The human brain can even not grasp, but let's simplify it by looking at the trend. And the trend clearly says more and more data is being generated. And Christoph, what is your feeling? How much of this data, especially in our industrial area environment, is used today?
I think this leads to utilization. Let's think about utilization. How many of the industrial data collected do you think is not being used today? And this is also my question of the audience. What do you think? How many percentage of industrial data is not used? Give me an example, or what do you think? Percentage? 90? 90? That's really good.
There's also 90. Yeah.
90. It's around 80% of industrial collected data is not used. So, and exactly this will bring us to our approach, how we continue and how we start with step one, Louis. What is our next step? And how does it look like?
Well, to summarize the situation first, it looks pretty dark. We talked about several challenges in the industry, which we see since years, honestly. We see about increasing volume of data, which is then in the end not used at all. So what is the approach, Christoph, you asked? The approach is to tackle it with a step one, to see what project brings a certain return on investment, a certain value in my organization, and to tackle that project as a step one. So we bring light into this darkness with this first step, and in our case we use the EcoStruxure Edge apps to deploy on an edge device. So this can be a versatile device out of our hardware portfolio, and we deploy ready-to-use applications on that box to say, okay, in this specific area where we have a certain pain point, we can now solve that. We can now drive a first digital transformation with an edge system on this device. Is your question partly answered, Christoph?
That sounds really interesting. And let's continue. So when we have this step one, how can we continue and how we can go further?
That's the beauty of edge computing. So you have a certain natural scalability in that. So after step one, naturally, we continue with step two. So surely the company should assess what are my learnings out of this first project, what went good, what went not so good, and out of that drive a next step. And in this step, we have maybe a more complex use case, but we learn from that one. We are now confident for another use case. Let's make it concrete. Here we are in a production in the warehouse where we want to make some intralogistics automation and drive here the efficiency. For that, also our EcoStruxure Edge apps offer ready-to-use applications which they can deploy on a hardware to increase the efficiency in this warehouse.
Ready to use was a good word, Louis. Can you describe me what do you mean concrete with when you talk about ready to use? And can you give me in addition an example for a ready to use edge application?
With one word, simple. But I think you asked for more. So ready to use is not like in traditional automation systems where you have a coding environment and you start to engineer some sort of software. It means it's a low code, no code tool where you do some low level of configuration to make the application ready for your environment. And this is what we offer with these applications. So no engineering at all. You bring it on the edge box, which is quite easy with a certain deployment mechanism, and then you configure it for your need. You asked about the example. We have a customer, it's a crane manufacturer. They had a pain point with maintenance on their assets because they also rent these cranes, and they have the issue, of course, when the crane is at the customer side, then they have pain points, they have failure in their maintenance, as the maintenance is today also based on a planned maintenance, so it's driven by schedule and not really driven by data. As part of this pain point, this customer wants to also increase the value out of an asset because so far they replaced assets based on a certain duration, as I said, driven by a calendar. So they asked us, hey, how can we improve this? How can we make a next step in terms of maintenance? And we deployed here and ready to run, I use this term again, application called EcoStruxure Edge Apps Condition-Based Maintenance. This application allows to bring data into the solution and now do a data-driven maintenance, allowing here the crane manufacturer to make a full maintenance concept together with the end user. So this means also the end user can see what's the maintenance status of certain assets of my crane. They can align on certain actions which are distributed between all these users. And by that, they have the big benefit to have no engineering time, but increase the asset lifetime of their cranes.
And with that, we come to scalability also. Let us have a look at the center. At the center, we have our EcoStruxure Edge Apps Manager. And when we talk about scalability, and also when we plug on our edge device, we have an automatic enrollment of our edge device, and we see it in our overview. So then we come to fleet management, and also in a really easy way, we can deploy our edge applications. So our edge apps, and we can update it, we can do cybersecurity updates, and so on and so on. So this gives us a high flexibility, and we come to the center. And on top of that, we have an app store, what gives us the possibility to purchase our edge apps. And now we come to make this end-to-end. We come to the last point, Louis. What is the last part of our ecosystem?
Yeah, for surely after we have all these management tools in place, it's the edge device, which I was referring to before. So you can really, in a modular way, you can have high performance devices, low performance devices with a smaller footprint based on the application, the pain point you want to tackle. And as you can see here, we will offer a rich set out of different edge applications, whether from Schneider Electric, from certain partners, or with private apps which are deployed and coded even by our customers.
Yeah, let us summarize our points. What is our conclusion?
As a key takeaway, I want to mention digitization, digital transformation is nothing you do in one project. It's more to be seen as a muscle. So something a corporate, a company should build, but then also maintain over time. As a takeaway here, we can reflect that one key advantage is to have a stepwise approach instead of these huge projects, to tackle it step by step, always have an eye on the return on investment, and by that driving digital transformation journey. And yeah, our EcoStruxure Edge apps, Christoph, they are ready to use. So this makes it quite simple. Don't you think so?
Sure. And let's come to our last conclusion. What is the step-by-step implementation? So what we described before is really to start with a small step. We integrate our learnings and come then to step 2. So thank you for your attention, and let's look at our booth in the Zone E and to show our demo of the EcoStruxure Edge apps. Thank you.
Exactly. We spoke about many applications. If you want to learn more, you find us directly behind this wall. Thank you very much.
Thank you.